Now, before you go, several people hurt after a crash on I-480 right near Martha happened in the eastbound lanes. All drivers were forced to exit the freeway onto Martha. Omaha police tell us that 4 people were taken to the hospital.
The man accused of killing Creighton baseball coach Chris Gradeville will remain under the care of state doctors. Last year, a judge found Liddell Thornton not responsible by reason of insanity. The case will be reviewed again in a year.
The Omaha man accused in a sex trafficking case facing a new federal charge. Stephen Harper pled not guilty to 1 count of child porn possession. He had been already charged with keeping a place of prostitution and pandering.
The woman involved in a fiery crash on I-80 has died. Omaha police say a semi driver was changing lanes when it hit an SUV in the lane it was merging into. The 62-year-old woman driving that SUV died at the hospital.
A former Central Nebraska police chief will be in court today. Wayne Alley is accused of making lewd acts during a UNO class and illegally carrying out a gun on school grounds.
Husker football coach Matt Rhule took the stand at Big Ten Media Days in Chicago. He talked about the need to finish next season stronger. The Huskers open their season against Ohio September 5th. And finally, a look at what's going on in the Metro this weekend. Tonight, comedy show Degenerates takes the stage at 9 o'clock at the new Warehouse Comedy Theater. Cameron Logston, fresh off his appearance on America's Got Talent, will be performing.
And today through Sunday is the Omaha Blues Festival. Dozens of bands will perform across venues in the Old Market and the Capital District. On Saturday, the Durham Museum opens a new exhibit in search of the signers. It features original documents and signatures from the nation's founders. For a preview of those events and more, catch Things to Do with our Maria Kate and Elena Riley at 9 a.m. on a First Alert 6 social media and